So today I want to talk to you guys about religious text. I actually made a video not that long ago, probably about 3 or 4 months ago. I think maybe 4 months now at this point. That said, "Are all religions dangerous?" And which I pretty much went into and dissected religions and stated that they are dangerous. Now, I want to take that back to an extent because all religions, if you take them literally, are still harmful and dangerous. I still stand by that. But, and this is a huge but, if you take religious text at a metaphorical level, it will change your whole entire life. Now, I want you guys to realize first and foremost that God, I do believe, I don't believe. Now, that is not true. This is my way of thinking going forward. Going forward now in life is, if you believe in something, have faith in something, or think something, you're wrong. Right? You have to know it. And I know God is real. I know for a fact God is real through personal experience. Now, let's say this right here. I'm not talking about a religious God. I'm not talking about a God in the Bible. I'm not talking about a God in the Quran. I'm not talking about anything, right? I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about actual God. If you want to call this God consciousness, you can. If you want to call this God some people call it the universe, even though the universe is made up of God. Think about that one. So I don't really like calling it the universe. I just like calling it God because it is God. It is God. As simple as that. It's God. So I just want to distinguish that. But however, there is great value, and I'm going to give you three religions, for example. Now, these are the three that I have studied, probably took part in the most, studied the most of, and I'm getting ready to go back in and study them more because back whenever I first studied them, looked into them, I took it at face value and I conceived it to be a fairy tale. So now that I know what I know, I'm going to go back and look at the metaphorical meaning behind this because that's what I've been doing lately, and it's amazing. It truly is amazing. It can change your whole life if you take it for what it is. And even going to church, like I went to church the other day for the first time, and I don't want to say for the first time. I just want to say I probably went in the past 15 years, I went to church maybe 10 times to see plays, or because my daughter wanted me to go, or because my mom asked me to go, or something of that nature. But I went to church for the first time Wednesday night, and on my own merit, let's just say that. I went to church for the first time by my own choice. By my own choice in well over 15 years, maybe even 20 years, guys. So it was an amazing experience to go in there and not just because before I didn't listen, I didn't pay attention. I went in there this night and I listened, but I also, like I said, you got to take it at a metaphorical level, and it touched me. It touched me in a way that probably it was the big. I made a video saying signs. You will see signs throughout life. If you can pick up on them, they will change your life. Now there was. If you guys don't know, I'm getting ready to walk the whole state of Tennessee. 500. It's between 500 and 560 miles. You can Google it. It starts in Johnson City, Tennessee, and it ends in Memphis, Tennessee. 560 miles. I could actually walk to Ohio if I wanted to, and it would be less distance. So, but I know I've got a huge journey ahead of me, guys, because I've been walking, maybe 6 to 10 miles, and it puts a wear and tear on your body. Just put it like that. Your legs, your thighs, your hips. I mean, it just does. So, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about also like I said before, I'm going to have to take 2 months off work. I've been thinking about the financial aspect of it. I'm going to have to pay someone to go with me, to park in front of me, for me to walk there. I'm going to have to pay for food. I'm going to have to pay for either a camper or a hotel room. And it's been kind of driving me crazy because I've got it all figured out. Don't worry, though, about that. I'll talk more about that later on. But I had all these things going on in my mind, and I was, contemplating if I was doing the right thing. I picked the date, which is January the 18th. I picked a date to embark on this, and still I was having battles within myself. And I go to church, and they talk about the story of Nehemiah and how he had to go to the king. Let's just sum this up, though. He had to go to the king to get these for 4 to 6 months. It was something was eating at him. He knew he had to do something. He needed to do something, and he was tore up inside. And he finally goes to the king and gets these papers to embark on this journey that he needs to embark on. And And coincidence enough, it was 500 miles that he journeyed, and they think that it took him anywhere between 2 to 4 months to get there. So that right there was a huge sign right to me. And it was also a sign that it said that, he tore himself up, basically. Like, he let stuff eat at him and fester at him until he did what he knew he had to do. And that's kind of the way I've been feeling the past little bit, guys, is I know I'm supposed to be doing something, but it's like something's holding me back from doing it, and I don't know what it is. And I've realized now it's the own mental scaffolding I've created for myself. And that's something that, like I've said in other videos, I mean, this is something you have to be vigilant of your whole entire life, that normally the only thing restricting you or holding you back is yourself. And that is very true. You can't blame other people. You cannot put your outcome on anyone else. You can't put the way your mindset is on anyone else, and you can't focus too much on anyone else. But because it all comes back to you at the end. So I had to realize this, and like I said, I would be a hypocrite if I didn't look for the signs and take my own advice. And there was just so many signs throughout that service, throughout that night, that has, just kind of annoyed that I'm doing the right thing. And so let's like I said, let's go back into why you should take these religious texts. Don't take them literally, but take them for what they are, which is metaphorically, and it will change your whole entire life, right? So the three religions that I speak about the most on this channel, or have spoken about the most, and probably will continue to speak about the most for the near future anyway, is Christianity, Buddhism, and Islam. Now, those are the three religions that I find the most fascinating, and I'm going to say for now that I resonate the most with. And not for the story, not for the actual story itself, because Buddhism and Christianity are essentially, they tell the same story for the most part if you read the book, and so does the whole Islamic story, Muslim. If you just look into this, they all tell you the same story. But what fascinates me, I think, the most about Muhammad is compared to Jesus and Buddha, is essentially Jesus was the embodiment of God here on earth, and Buddha was someone that the angels came to his father and told him that he was going to be this great prophet. He was going to be the embodiment of basically God on earth. So it's kind of similar stories, Jesus and Buddha there, for the most part. Now, Jesus bears his cross and for the good of humanity. That's a fascinating story in itself, if you can get the metaphorical meaning behind it. And Buddha, his father builds this place for him where he don't see he wants him to fall in love with the materialistic world. He don't want him to see anything else outside of that, So it's basically ego-driven on Buddha's father's behalf. And then just go. I'm going to dissect these more for you guys, okay? But, Muhammad's a fascinating story in itself, because this man was a shopkeeper. He was, I believe, in his 40s, and, God started talking to him and told him what he needed to do, and this man basically turned a lot of religions into one, and unified, under one God, a bunch of different religions. It's fascinating. That one kind of is the one I'm getting ready to delve deeper into, I feel like. But like I said, guys, you can't take these literal. You can't, I wouldn't even identify as any of them. Like I said, don't take them literal. They're metaphorical. So just within the first bit of the Bible, I mean, if you go into the story of Cain and Abel, if you go into the story of the well, if you go into the story of, let's just stick to those for a little bit. But essentially, actually, I'm just going to end this right here, because for one, I got a phone call. I'm waiting on a business call I have to attend to. And two, I want to come back here and dissect these more. I want to read. I don't know if I'm going to actually read Bible scripture or scripture like that, but I do want to, show you how you can spin this into a positive if you don't take it literal. If you just take it at a metaphorical level, which you should, it can be earth-shattering. It can change your whole life if you'll let it. But you cannot take it literal. That's the main thing I want to put across to anyone and everyone that's watching this. Please don't take it literal. And please, whenever I'm talking about God, don't assume that it's a religious God. And when I talk about spirituality, please don't compare it to religion, because it's not in any way, shape, or form. But I mean, there's a lot of things, guys, that I have learned, that I have experienced myself, that I just want to help you guys out with, because I feel like no matter where you are at in life, no matter where you're going in life, this can benefit you. This can help you if you let it. I mean, there's no reason it shouldn't or couldn't. But the number one thing you have to do before you can improve or do anything is realize that no one, if you are getting held back, you feel oppressed, you feel like you can't do anything, you feel anxious, depressed, miserable, you're addicted, you have to realize, though, one thing and one thing only, and that is you're the root cause of it all. And a lot of people don't like that, or don't want to hear that, or don't want to admit that. But it is the truth. It's nothing but the truth. And once you can learn that and accept that, and you don't even have to be anxious or depressed. You can be, battling with something like what you want to do in your career, what you want to do, this and that. And you also have to realize you can't let fear get in your way, because it's imaginary. All fear is imaginary. And I will go in deeper into that about what I'm talking about. And I really do love you guys. Like, seriously. If no one's told you this today, you are good enough. You do matter. You have a purpose. I love every fucking one of you. Seriously.